Hello, everyone. Hi, Cheryl Arkle. Hi, welcome to What Are You Reading? I'm in the office today. No Jane. Jane's not well. I've got the full team here, though, so we've got lots of support and backup if we need it. So you know how it works. I'm going to tell you what we're reading, and you're going to tell us what you're reading. So welcome to the What Are You Reading segment. It's been a couple of weeks actually since I've been here, so I'm really looking forward to chatting with everybody. And you know how I love the comments. Carolyn says, hi Cheryl, I'm about to start Mayflies by Andrew O'Hagan for a book club. Have been wanting to read this since it came out. Hi Emma. And we've got, we've got Jane there. So she's obviously joining in from home. Hi Jane. Welcome everyone. Hi Mary. As I said, this is What Are You Reading? We've got so many books to talk about today, so we're going to get started soon. Welcome. Hi Tanya. Hi Denise. Hi Sharon. Welcome to the segment. I think I'm going to get started. Let's talk about The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. Now that's our book of the week. And I know you guys love Beth. I think this is her third book. Is that right? Fourth book. It's her fourth book, and it's a romantic comedy. And she has written, you'll remember, Flat Chair, The Switch, and The Road Trip. Right? So that's the new Beth O'Leary. That's our book of the week. And I know a lot of you have enjoyed her. Also, we have a podcast. Is the podcast out yet? Not yet. Okay. Well, I did record a podcast with Beth and I had a wonderful conversation with them. So that's coming soon. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Tell me what you're reading. Mary is reading The Way From Here by Jane Cochran and really enjoying it. Amanda is reading Cold Justice by Ant Middleton. Theodora says hi. Hi, Theodora. Hi, Jane Harvey is reading The Dressmakers of Yarrandurra Prison. Great read. We really enjoyed that at the time too. Denise started The Cane today by May Rose Cuskelly. And Donna is reading The Cane as well. Gosh, well, there you go. That's Denise and Donna. Emma is currently reading A Dance with Fate by Juliet Marilla. Hi, Dave Hart. How are you? Oh, gosh. Dave is reading one of our recommendations, yes, The Torrent by Denica McKenzie. We love her. She did a Wednesday night event with us and we recorded a fabulous podcast with her as well. So I hope you enjoy that. And I hope you're well, Dave. Kerry, thank you. Kerry has nearly finished 12 Secrets. Mary, love The No-Show, 5 stars. The Beth O'Leary. Thank you, Better Reading, for a preview copy. You're welcome. Malvina, hi Malvina. Malvina's just finished Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Unexpected and sheer entertainment. Love that. That's a good recommendation. Sue says, hi Cheryl, I'm reading Take Your Breath Away by Linwood Barclay, which we talked about as well some weeks ago. We've got this beautiful book called Meshi. Isn't this gorgeous? Now, she was with us last night on Facebook Live, and I know a lot of you enjoyed that event. It's a beautiful food memoir, and it explores the meals of Catherine's childhood in Japan. So it's really a beautifully written book, beautifully presented. I mean, look at this. Have a look at that. And beautiful pages right throughout. Isn't that gorgeous? Anyway, if you missed her event last night, you know that the events are recorded and you can jump on and catch up and watch them afterwards if you missed it live. And that's the new book called Meshi. Okay, what else have we got? Kim just finished Dressed by Iris Mary O'Connor. And Natalie, great to be here again. I'm currently enjoying Lessons in Chemistry for book club. Fantastic. Sharon is reading And Fire Came Down by Emma Visage, who we love. Melissa just started The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is, I know, is selling like hotcakes. Now, look at this wonderful book. Love the cover. It's a hardcover. And it's written by Melbourne radio presenter John Fane. And it's the fascinating story of the mighty Apollo, a legendary strongman and circus star. This is a really lovely non-fiction, very uniquely Australian book called Apollo and Thelma. So, and I think we've got John Fane coming in for a podcast shortly as well. So you'll hear more about that book. What else are we reading out there? Oh, Theodore's reading what? Australian law? That must be stimulating. I would veer over to fiction if I was you. Judy is reading The Henna Artist by Alca Joshi. Really good so far. Yeah, I think we talked about that at length a couple of years ago now. Karen's reading The Paris Library. Cheryl, I'm reading The Warsaw Orphan by Kelly Rimmer. And we love Kelly. Dallas is reading The Good Mother by Ray Cowan. Theodore, Australian Business Law, reading my old textbooks. That's what she's doing. Danielle says, good afternoon, Cheryl. I'm reading Crime and Punishment. I hope your day's going well. Thank you. Tanya's currently reading Daughters of Eve by Nina Campbell and Family of Strangers by Fiona Lowe. So there's a lot of books going on. Hey, a couple of things. Don't forget our podcast. Also, we raised $800 and we paid that donation. So $400 from your answers, and then we topped that up with another $400 and we raised that for Lismore Library. And that's done. We've sent them the money. So thank you so much for all of you who have participated in that quiz. It was great fun and something we'll be doing in the future as well. So there we go. What else have we got here? Isn't this beautiful book? Look at this cover. It's called The Secret Wife, and it's by Mark Lamprell. And it's set in the 60s about the women's movement and sexual revolution. And it's a really wonderful story of love, sacrifice, and secrecy. But really love the cover there as well. Okay, what else is happening out there? Denise is reading, says The Torrent is great. Jenny, hi, Cheryl, just started reading Avril Kenny's new book, The Girls of Lake Evelyn, loving it. Sheila just finished Shantram. Wow, that's an old one, by Gregory David Roberts. Gosh, I think that came out when I started bookselling many, many years ago, but it's still a classic in a way that it's survived the times. Helen, Into the Dark Water by Paula Hawkins, and she's loved it. Amelia is reading Devotion by Hannah Kent. Astrid is reading The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth and loving it. Joe, thank you, Joe, says it's lovely to see me. And Joe is reading We Are Not Like Them by Christine Pride and Joe Piazza, and really enjoying it. Maxine is reading Kokoda by Peter Fitzsimon. I think that's another old one too. Emma says Meshi looks so amazing and the recipes look absolutely delicious. And it certainly does, actually. Beautiful book. Teresa's reading Ciao Bella by Kate Lambrook, and a great read and makes me want to go back to Italy. That came out just before Christmas and it was popular, and I know it was one of Jane's favourite book for the year. Okay, so Lily Maloney, The Vet's Country Holiday. We know that you've all been loving this. It's a wonderful new romance from Lily, and it's about a city-based vet who goes to pet sit in the country, and a really great tale. And many of you are already reading it and loving it. The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. This is new, and her previous book was The Rose Code. So this is based on a true story, one of World War II's most lethal snipers, and that's out now too. All right, what else are you guys reading? Yvonne has just started It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And I think that's been on the bestseller list since it was published. Catherine, Midnight Rose by Lucinda Riley. Michelle is reading Funky Town by Paul Kennedy. Julie, yes, welcome, Julie. Lovely to have you live as well. Is reading Beautiful Words by Vanessa McCausland. Jane Tara, our Jane, is just about to read Apollo and Thelma. So that is this book. Don't we love a segue, Jane? Okay, Carol. Carol has just finished Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garman. Chuckled all the way through the book, loved it, great recommendation. Margaret is reading Chai Time at Cinnamon Gardens by Shankari Chandra. Really interesting. That sounds actually quite delicious as well, doesn't it? Okay, now Lynn Mcfarlane, The Scarlet Cross. That's a book that we're talking about this week. It's a gripping and disturbing thriller set in a hospital where nothing seems as it is. Why do women keep turning up dead in this hospital? And they're turning up dead, and they've got very, very similar injuries as well. So something is going on. So that's out now too. Then there's this book, Diagnosis Normal by Emma A. Jane. A really interesting book. Certainly it's nonfiction, and it's a disturbing experience that Jane went through, but a beautifully kind of beautifully written and very touching memoir style book. But anyway, I recorded a podcast with Emma Jane, and it's out now, so look out for that as well. Okay, what else is happening? Suzanne's reading Those Who Perish by Emma Visage. Denise is reading A Family of Strangers by Fiona Lowe. Christine from Gilby just started. Oh, Christine's just started The Messenger by Marcus Cusack, and she's actually from Gilby. Is that right? Karen, awesome donation to Lismore Library. Thank you, Karen, and thank you to everybody at home who participated. That was such a love. It was a fun thing to do and such a worthwhile cause. We also sent Lismore Library, we sent them that $800 cash donation, but we also are sending them a couple of boxes of books as well to help get their library, because they lost, I think, just about everything, which is really terrible. Hi, Bronwyn. Bronwyn's just finished reading Wild Place by Christian White. Loved it. Charmaine, The Little Wartime Library by Kate Thompson. Yes, we all love that. Melissa is reading Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. That's come up a few times. Do we have a copy of that book that I can hold up? Reggie is reading Something to Hide by Elizabeth George. A huge book, but really interesting and keeping me entertained while in isolation. Oh, I know this Lessons in Chemistry that you're all reading. This is it's got a little quote there from Nigella Lawson, and obviously everyone is enjoying reading it. So there it is. That's the book that people are talking about. What have we got? Karen is reading Blood and Memory by Fiona McIntosh, enjoying her fantasy series, The Quickening, listening to The Spring Clean, for The Peach Queen, and really loving both. I love that, reading a hard copy and listening to a book at the same time. Charmaine, she has loved the book that we probably were just talking about. Emma would love to have another quiz soon. It was so much fun. It really was, Emma. It was so much fun. And we will have a quiz soon, and maybe we'll have a little cash prize that goes out to everybody. Charmaine says she can't wait to read The Diamond Eye. That's this one. And that's out now by Kate Quinn. Erica's reading Atomic Habits. Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Thanks for joining us. I don't think you've been with us for a while. Animal by Lisa Taddeo is what Barbie's reading. Michelle is reading A Trip of a Lifetime by Monica McInerney. Vivian is reading Take Nothing With You by Patrick Gale. Jenny, love Kate Quinn, have read all her books. Can't wait to start Diamond Eye. Denise can't wait for Maya Linnell's new book next month too. Rhonda, Summer Lightning by Tamara McKinley, her books. She's reading her books and enjoying them very much. And currently reading Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. And Dex has put up the link there to the Emma Jane podcast as well. I've got a couple of things that I want to remind you of too. Our Wednesday night events, which are always popular with you guys. Lauren Chater is coming up next Wednesday, April the 27th. Now, you will remember the lovely Lauren Chater. One, I recorded a podcast with her recently, and she is the author of Gulliver's Wife. And you will know her. This is her new book. Look how lush and beautiful that cover is. The Winter Dress by Lauren Chater. Okay, and also, what have we got here? Is the podcast by Tony Jordan, Dinner with the Schnabels. I had such a wonderful chat with Toni, because Toni was, I think it was a biochemist before she started writing fiction. So we had a really interesting conversation. And you might remember her first book. What was her first book? It was The Editions. Yeah, there we go. So that's Toni Jordan. All right, what else have we got? Emma is chai time. Emma saying that chai time is making me want an iced chai latte. I'm feeling exactly the same, Emma. Maddie, you've just started Beth Morrie, Em and Me, and loving it. Mary just finished Room Made of Leaves by Kate Grenville, and now reading The Cases of the Imaginary Detective by Karen Joy Fowler. I just saw a Kate Grenville book right here on our table. Michelle is reading Sunset in Spain by Erna Walraven. Thank you for the recommendations. I love these sort of books. Well, thank you for joining us. We enjoy, well, obviously we recommend, you recommend, so there's so much out there to be reading. Jess is reading A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins, who someone's just mentioned before. Gillian's reading Again by Rachel, Again Rachel by Marion Keyes, which we also have loved and talked about. Denise, thanks every week to Dex in the background, who does so much. Is that Dex's mother? No, it's not Dex's mother. Okay, Adam Goods. We're just mentioning these beautiful picture books by Adam. That was the first one in the series, called Somebody's Land. And this is the second one, beautifully illustrated, beautifully told, illustrated by Ellie Lang. And this one's called Ceremony, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So we thought that they deserve to be held up as well. Okay, all right, Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Natalie's reading Once in a Lifetime by Danielle Steele, an oldie but a goldie. We do know how the saying goes. And also, too, I think with books, it's actually new. We've said this before. It's new until you've read it, right? Kylie, hi, Cheryl, I hope you're well. I'm reading Caught in the Act by Shane Janik, aka Caught in the Act, yes. And again, I spoke to Shane on a podcast, had a wonderful conversation. So go find that as well. Debbie just finished Violetta last night. Well, you know that Isabella and I met up in San Francisco. That was a few months ago now. Now, Fiona, where do I find the podcast with Toni Jordan? Is that out? Yes, we will put the link in comments. Is it on Better Reading or somewhere? I'm reading Dinner with the Schnabels. We will put, there we go. The link is there. Have you done that? Yeah, there it is. Dex has put that up for you. Isn't he efficient? Okay, so that's it for what we're reading. You can still tell me what you're reading. And also, I just wanted to share with you that that the reason why I've been away is because my mum passed away. And I'm just sharing that with you because I've talked about her in the past, and you all know that she was battling dementia, and she died a couple of weeks ago, and I was lucky enough to be with her when she died. So I'm sure all of you have had some kind of experience with a parent or a loved one dying. So you know how I feel, and yeah, it's good to be back though. It's good to be back here. Yeah, that's it from me, I think. All right, thank you, everybody. Hopefully next week Jane will be back, and the duo will be sitting right here. Oh, look, beautiful notes of condolences. Thank you so much. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, actually. Anyway, until next week. See you then.